Today, marking exactly 8 years since the Lily mine tragedy occurred. 3 mine workers, you'll remember, Pretty Nkambule, Yvonne Mnisi and Nyirenda, were buried underground when the mine collapsed on this day in February of 2016. Since then, their remains have not been retrieved from the belly of the mine. Newzroom Afrika's Mweli Masilela is following this story for us. Mweli, it's such a difficult day to digest, right? Because we put our minds into the hearts of the families as they still struggle to find closure.
Yes, indeed, Michelle. Actually, this day invokes those painful memories that actually unfolded on that day of the tragedy. And as I spoke to some of the family members of the 3 mine workers that lost their lives, because already it was confirmed through an inquest that considering the way the events unfolded on the day, chances are that they died instantly. So some of those family members, of course, finding closure after that particular inquest, but they actually maintain that it will be better if they get those remains brought to surface. So we're expecting that today the leader of Action SA, Herman Mashaba, will be leading the commemoration today. He's coming into the factor here, Michelle, because he's the one who actually came with the financial muscle to get top lawyers to represent these families. We know that it's not only the families that have been camping here outside Lily Mine, but also some former employees who have been struggling financially after losing their jobs. Remember, this is a mine that was closed immediately after that particular incident. But the most painful thing during this day in February 2016, Michelle, is that it started with a rescue mission, and then later, because the ground was shaky, they were not able to continue with that rescue mission. They then accepted that it will now be a recovery mission. But still, with that recovery mission, also it failed because of the unstable ground. But there's been quite a lot of litigation in as far as this case is concerned, especially because the people camping here, all that they wanted to see is the mine being reopened, and also the remains of their loved ones retrieved from underground. So just behind me, Michelle, what my colleague Ritu is showing you is some of the people who have been camping here for a number of years. In fact, they started camping here 3 years after the incident to try and put pressure on the government as well as the mine management to retrieve the remains of those 3 mine workers and also ensure that this mine is reopened. But this is something that hasn't happened until this day. I spoke earlier about the opening of an inquest to find out as to what actually led to the collapse of the mine. We heard from that inquest that was led by Magistrate Annemarie van der Merwe, of course with the assistance of some experts, actually 2 experts. They did find out, Michelle, that the mine collapse, the primary cause was the issue of illegal mining, and also poking some holes in as far as this matter was handled by both the mine management and also the government, as well as members of the police, to say things could have been done better in ensuring that this incident doesn't happen. But of course, from today's conversations, we are hoping to hear as to what will happen going forward. The inquest has actually reflected on some of those mistakes that could have been avoided. But going forward now, what happens? Because the people who have been working here, what they want to see is the mine being reopened, and also the families of the 3 trapped mine workers, they want to see the remains of their loved ones being retrieved from underground, Michelle.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, right? The inquiry, the inquest into this tragedy said a whole lot of things about what could have been done, but how do we get closure as families without being able to lay our loved ones to rest? Mweli Masilela, thanks very much indeed for that update. And just a note for our viewers as well, we will go back to Mweli just before 7 o'clock this morning, and he'll be in conversation with Harry Mazibuko, who is the spokesperson for those bereaved families.